Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new Idontworkherelady content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first story is titled, "Don't Work Here, but I am banning you from the store." This just happened 20 minutes ago, and still laughing about it. I was in the Bullseye store with the red vests and shirts. I was picking up a few office supplies. I manage 3 restaurants and one of the office's supplies ran low on staples and printing paper, and the supply truck won't be until the end of the month. I gathered the items I needed and headed to the check lanes. I heard a banshee-like shrill screaming, "Hey, hey you." I look around and this lady has a person who really does work there cornered and the poor girl looked to be on the verge of tears. SC. Screaming customer real employee me, yours truly. SC. Yes, you. Mr. Manager, come here and discipline your employee. She refuses to help me and was very rude and called me some very bad names. Now I have read enough of these "I don't work here" posts and always wondered why no does this. So I gave it a shot. Me to is this true? Were you rude to this lovely piece of humanity? Which made her kind of giggle. No, I just told her I am on my way home, I just finished my shift. If she needs help, she can ask someone else who would be more than happy and clocked in. When I told her this she reached for me, I backed off. I don't like strangers touching me. And I never insulted her. SC. High-pitched shrill that would shatter crystal, liar. You called me all sorts of bad words. When I find my husband he will have you fired if you don't do something about it. Me. Lady, I am the district manager. I will ask you to calm down. If you don't I am going to have to ask you to leave the store. SC. WHAAT. Well, I am just very upset, you stupid F word. It's been most distressful. In all my years I have never been treated so horribly. Me. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but you aren't settling down. I am going to have to ask you excuse yourself from the premises or be escorted by security. Pull out my phone. Speed dial missed my messages. SC. But my husband. Me. Go to customer service desk, page your husband and tell him you will be waiting outside for him while he does STHE shopping. Now leave this store immediately. I pretend to talk to security on the phone. Yes, we have an unruly customer who needs to be escorted from the store. SC throws what she has on the floor and leaves screaming, yelling, threatening to sue and shut the store down. I turn to and ask if she is okay. She tells me yeah, she didn't know I was in the store but glad I was. I hope I'm not in any trouble. I just worked a double shift. I just want to go home. I am extremely tired and hungry. Me. No, you're not in trouble. I don't even work here. After a second or two it sinks in what I said and begins to laughing uncontrollably. I told her I manage the restaurant up the street and she is welcome to come in and have a free meal on my dime. As I leave for the restaurant I walk through the parking lot and see the screaming banshee customer sitting in a pickup truck on her cell phone. I could hear her muffled screams and crying and figure I better get the hell out of Dodge. Did come into the restaurant to thank me. I told her the offer for the free meal is still good. She took me up on it but tipped the server really well even though it was a free meal. We talked and laughed about the banshee and she laughed even harder when I told her about seeing her sitting in the truck. I told her this is definitely going on Reddit. Says she loves these posts and will be looking for it. So, hey Kate, if you're reading this you are Reddit famous now. Maybe someone will turn this into a YouTube video lol. The next story is titled, "The Insecure Lady in a Dressing Room." A little background. This happened to me years ago, no drama but thinking about it makes me smile, so I thought you might too. Shopkeepers in this little store, doesn't have uniforms. Lady, me, M shopkeeper, S. I'm browsing the shelves in this little store, when a lady in a dressing room next to me pulls the curtains aside, spots me and asks, "Hi, does these pants look good on me?" M, take a spin and let me see. L spins. M, they fit you perfect. L, are you sure? Absolutely. L gives me the biggest smile. L takes a dull purple knit blouse out from the dressing room. Will this look good with the pants? Well, what will you use the outfit for? L, it's for my 60 feet birthday party. I didn't like the blouse at all. Was having a blast interacting with the sweet lady and had time on my hands. What's you size? L gives me her size and I bring her this bright colored tunic with flowers, birds and gold, that I spotted earlier. L, oh, this is very bold. I'm not used to stand out. Try it on, you might get surprised. L gets in the dressing room still talking to me about not being brave enough to shine this much. S enters the scene. L comes out with the tunic on. Wow, this suits you so much. It would be perfect for your party. L gives me a little insecure smile. Looks in the mirror and her smile gets bigger. You're right. This actually suits me. S, your friend is right. This look is great for you. L looks at me very confused. You don't work here? No, L. But why would you help me? Me. You asked me nicely. The three of us share a good chuckle and I leave wishing the lady a happy birthday party. The next story is titled, Karen sees me feeding my newborn and still demands I help her because her time is too valuable. I went to Walmart today with my wife and newborn, looking for a bike for our daughter. To our surprise, the store was not very crowded, but it was still a bit busy, as you can all imagine, due to the holiday season. We arrived at the bike racks and my wife had the urge to go use the bathroom, so I stayed behind trying to determine which one was more fitting for my daughter. Suddenly the newborn wakes up crying and I start scrambling to prepare his bottle, as it was time to feed. As good of a father as I believe I am, I could not find a fucking thing in that diaper bag, so the chaos was becoming real very fast. Enter Karen. Equipped with high heels, sunglasses, a hat worthy of the Kentucky Derby and a dress straight out of a romantic scene from an 80s movie. Excuse me, help me get this bike down. Excuse me. I knew she could not be talking to me because I was clearly struggling to open a zipper on a bag while the deafening screams of my baby were driving everyone else away. Excuse me, do you speak English? I took a peek over my shoulder and wouldn't you know it, Karen was staring directly at me. Are you gonna help me? I kept ignoring her and managed to get what I needed out of the bag while my son made his best attempt to break every glass in the store with his high-pitched screams. At that exact moment my wife showed up and somehow I managed to curse this lady out. In fact, I politely replied, "Can you give me a moment, please?" I finished preparing the bottle while my wife held the baby, handed my wife the bottle to feed our son, and I turned and faced evil Karen. K, are you gonna help me? Did you realize I was busy with a baby? K, I don't have all the time in the world to chit-chat. Are you helping me or not? Which bike do you want? K, that one right up there. She pointed at the exact one I had eyeballed when I first arrived. So I calmly pulled the rack forward, took the bike down and started walking, bike in hand, towards my wife. K, you can just leave it right there. Oh, I didn't get this down for you. I got this down for me. I'm buying this one. Learn some fucking manners, you old cunt. And take your fucking shades off, it's 7:30 at night. K, how dare you? My wife busted out laughing so hard that the baby started crying again. But this time I didn't mind the noise, as it was blocking Karen's mumbling and swearing as we walked away with our daughter's new bike. The next story is titled, Can You Not Tug on That? You're awfully close to my penis. Oh, so I had a fun one the day after Christmas. Got lots of gift cards, so I went to a store that has an I for a logo because I wanted to try to get a pair of AirPods. Probably my fault for daring the after Christmas crowd. I keep my badge for work on a lanyard that I use a keychain loop to attach to my pants since I have a real habit of misplacing it. Anyway, I was looking for something sweet after not getting my AirPods since they were sold out, and this crabby old bitch came waddling down the cookie aisle. I at the time had my actually headphones in listening to Being Scared, awesome YouTube channel for fans of horror. She'll be Cobb for obvious reasons. Cobb. Snaps fingers, hey you. Me. Internal screaming while pausing at a good part of the story, yes ma'am? Cobb. Where is the pop? Oh, this is an obvious snowbird. FYI, I live in Arizona, and when these types come down here for winter, it's like a haven for IDWHL scenarios. Me. I think it's 2 aisles over, but I'm not sure as I don't work here. Have a nice day though. As I unpause and start to walk away, I feel my headphones get ripped from my ear, which caused my phone to fall out of my hoodie pocket with them. I stared at them for a few seconds, deciding how to react. Cobb. Serves you right, you little brat. You young people never respect your elders. How dare you turn your back to me? Me. First of all, I'm 35. Second of all, for the second time now, I don't work here, so I'm not someone who is required to put up with any of your shit, and even if I did work here, that's no way to treat people. If this is the kind of person you are, I can only imagine what your kids are like. It's parents like you that raise entitled little assholes. That's the real trouble with today's youth. Don't touch me again. She looked like a fish trying to inhale as much water as she could with how her mouth was hung agape. As I turn to walk away, I feel a strong tug on my lanyard that is literally hanging down by my penis. Me. Can you not touch that? You're really close to my penis. This gets the attention of a nearby manager. Manager. What's going on over here? Cobb. This employee of yours wouldn't help me and swore at me. Me. I'm sorry, Miss Manager, but there's probably someone with a very large butterfly net looking for this woman who has just physically assaulted me twice, and she also tried to sexually assault me once. Cobb. See. He's such a smart ass, and I would do no such thing. Me. Ma'am, you still haven't released your hold of my lanyard that, again for the second time, is right next to my special place, and there's cameras all over this section that just recorded you ripping my headphones out, causing my phone to fall to the floor. Manager looks at her, looks at me, and looks at my lanyard that she still hasn't released yet. Manager. Ma'am, he doesn't work here. He's wearing another company's name on his lanyard and a t-shirt that says Bullet Club on it. How could you possibly think he works here? I can also clearly see you're holding him by a lanyard that is hanging down by his privates. Can you let him go, or do I call security? He'd also be well within his rights to physically defend himself at this point. Cobb. Well, I have never. Me. I'm sure that's not true. Can you let go now, please? She finally lets go and is trespassed from the store. The manager apologized. I told her not to worry, as it wasn't even close to her fault. I have still yet to find my AirPods, maybe after New Year's. The next story is titled, I Work at GameStop. This is a McDonald's. So last holiday season, when I still worked for good old GameStop, there was a McDonald's a block away that I decided to go to for my lunch break. We don't have a uniform per se, we just have to wear either a nice shirt or one that we sell and some nice pants with our name tag on. I'm standing in line after ordering my food, and this kid and his mom are standing a couple feet away from me, and I hear the following. Mom. It's okay, she works there, she'll be able to tell you. Kid. Yeah, Mom, but she looks like she's on her break. Mom. Oh, it doesn't matter. Ask her, so we don't have to waste a trip. I kind of roll my eyes but turn to the kid when he walks over and ask him what's up. He then asks me if my store had some random, obscure PS3 game in stock. I kind of smiled, shrugged and said I had no idea, you'd have to call and ask or go up there and check. The mom gets really huffy when she hears that and is like, we don't want to waste all that time if you don't have it, so if you could just look it up on your phone that'd be great. At this point my food is ready, so I grab it and just shake my head at the lady. Sorry, but I'd have to be at a computer to do that. Listen, I have to go. I only have 10 minutes left of my break and I haven't eaten yet. Just call the store and they can check for you. I just kind of book it out of there and go back to the store and eat. A little bit later the pair comes into the store and the lady tries to report me to my manager for refusing to help her at McDonald's. My manager just laughs at her and says I wasn't on the clock or even in the store, so she can't help her. We didn't have the game BTW. The next story is titled, Karens of All Types. This one is going to be a little different than what most of you are used to. I work on the West Coast running my own business as a cybersecurity consultant. I'm 35 and have been in this business a very long time. I have around 10 employees, however the one we just hired is a special case. Very special. She is one of the dumbest smart people I know, and her attitude says she graduated with honors from an Ivy League school and that means she owns you. Since I'm the owner of the business, I leave most duties to my senior security engineers, so she has probably only seen me a few times in the 3 months she's worked for me. Cast. K equals Karen, me equals yours truly, MF equals manager friend. I was out shopping for supplies in the office and I decided I was gonna stop by my local Sam's Club for some lunch. I used to work there when I was in my early 20s and I was friends with the now manager of the specific store while we were cashiers together. It's worth mentioning that since I was heading to the office after this, I was dressed in my formal business attire. I promise it comes into play later. The Sam's Club cafe has some of the best food in my opinion for the price that they offer. I finish my food and have a chat with MF. MF leaves to go do manager things and I go to throw away my paper plate that was provided to me for my pizza when I start hearing screaming coming from the cafe counter, which isn't even 10 feet away. I look over to see what is happening. Karen. What do you mean you're out of frozen yogurt? Do you idiots ever keep anything stocked? This was a common thing to happen in the summertime since everyone loves their frozen yogurt. Karen looks at me and rushes over. Manager, you are going to do something about this. I want that cunt bitch fired right this instant. He was rude and called me a bitch for asking for frozen yogurt. Me. I don't work. She cut me off before I could continue, but it was then I started to realize she looked familiar. Karen. I don't care. You will fire this little pussy-ass brat right now or I'm contacting corporate over this. After that it clicked. She's my employee. Me. I can't do anything for you because I don't work here. I thought about telling her but I wanted to see where this goes. Karen. Jabs her finger into my chest as hard as she can and twists it. Listen you retard, I don't know who you think I am but I'm leagues smarter than you. The only reason you work here is because you're a reject who couldn't finish college. I almost busted out laughing at that comment but I composed myself. At this point the actual manager, MF, comes running over and asks what wrong. Before I could explain, Karen steps in. Karen. He, pointing at me, assaulted me and verbally abused me while refusing to fire this employee, the girl behind the cafe counter who at this point looked visibly horrified. And as his boss, you better fire him right this instant. If you don't all have all of your jobs, you insignificant clowns. Yes, she really said that. She called us clowns. How ironic. Me. Pretty much fed up now, I revealed my real identity. Karen, I'm insert name here, the owner of insert company name here, the consultancy you work for. We just hired you a couple months ago, right? I showed her my badge with title, name and picture on it. Her face turned whiter than snow. MF. I saw her jabbing her finger into you. The cops are already on their way. I didn't think it was possible, but her face turned even whiter than it was before. She looked like she was about to hurl. Anyway, the cops show up, look at the security footage, and without even asking me anything they handcuff her and take her away. They talk to me and ask me if I wanted to press charges and I said yes, court date pending, and later find out from MF that she yanked the cafe girl by the collar, slapped her, and pushed her back before I had seen her yelling. I asked the cops if I could have a word with her before they drove her away since she's my employee. They said yes and I walked up to her sitting in the cop car, hands cuffed behind her back. She is about to speak but I held my finger up in front of her face. Me. For someone who graduated with honors at insert Ivy League school here, you're pretty dumb. I was never impressed with your work and now that you're here I doubt you'll ever get a job in the security field again. Don't bother showing up for work anymore. I had to add that last part cause I knew she'd be out on bail. Her husband is pretty wealthy too. Never thought I'd run into a Karen that actually worked for me, LMAO. The next story is titled, Company Paid Me for Months After I Had Quit since they didn't realize I didn't work there anymore. When I was in college, I worked for maybe 2 weeks at a clothing store that is well known for their ads with preppy, muscular college guys with no shirts on and pretty girl next door type girls. My roommate worked there, so I got a job there as well. I've never worked somewhere that was as badly managed as this store. I showed up for my shifts the first week and nobody even knew I was supposed to be there or what I was supposed to be doing. They just told me to walk around and fold clothes and never trained me on anything. My roommate and I would leave and shop in the mall. You had to wear their clothing to work there, and when I went to buy some clothes with my discount, the manager, another college girl, told me to just take it as that is what they all do. I am not someone who is comfortable with stealing, so I insisted on paying for my things, which seemingly annoyed the manager. I ended up just not going back to work after like a week or two as the place was such a train wreck. I kept receiving paychecks for weeks after I had quit. I called corporate and tried to explain that I didn't actually work there anymore, but was still getting paid for my scheduled shifts, and they seemed just as confused as I was. The paychecks kept coming. I called multiple times as I was worried they would demand I had to pay the money back when they realized their mistake, and I was getting annoyed by having to keep calling. Someone in corporate told me to just keep them and he would fix the issue. They finally stopped coming after at least 2 months of free pay, and I never did have to pay the money back. Years later, I was married and received a letter from a lawyer in the mail in regards to a class action suit against the company I had worked for all of a week or two, claiming, ironically, I was entitled to money for them not paying me enough. It had something to do with them requiring employees to wear their clothing, which was funny considering I knew those employees had been stealing the clothes anyway. I figured I might as well be included in the class action as I had purchased quite a few pieces of their clothing for my very short time of working there, and to be honest, I was just amused by the whole thing at this point and wanted to see what would happen. I ended up getting a $100 gift card in the mail a while later after I had forgotten all about it. They calculated it based on how long I was paid for my employment there, not by how long I was actually employed there. I was like, man, this store really wants to keep paying me, even years later. They just refused to take the hint that, I don't work here, lady. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comments.